All right, I got some more Eric Clapton and Cream for you today. We got Sunshine of Your Love. It's going to start out with this riff here on the D string, 12, 12, 10, 12. And then we're going to jump to the A string, 12, 11, 10. And then we're going to go big string, 10, 8 on the A, back to 10 on the big one. So we got... So we do that twice, and then we're going to come in with chords here. So this is 12 on the A, 12 on the D, 11 on the G, part of a D major chord. We're going to go. So we go down 2 frets to the 10, 10, and 9, and back up. So it's going D to C to D. So, and then the riff. Now here we're going to get away from that lower thing. We're going to come to a higher thing. So that's like the D and G string 12s. To the 10 with some vibrato on the G string there, back to the 12 and the D. And sometimes I'll just go like the D note to the F note and back. So sometimes it's a chord, and sometimes it's just like a... Okay, so another thing is sometimes he'll just drop back and go back to those every now and again. So you can kind of mix it up, doesn't really matter. I'm sure he kind of like did whatever he felt at the time. Okay, so we do 2 of those after the 2 of the... So that's 4 total. Then we're going to do 4 more of this with these chords for the verse. And then we're going to move down to the G chord. So that's going to be 12s on the D, G, and B strings to the 10s on the same strings in the back. So it's G, G, F, G is what's happening there. Now we're going to be on the D string for our descending riff. 12, 11, 10. That's 10 on the A to 8 on the D and back. So we're going to do this G thing 2 times. And then we're back to the other one. Now we're going to go to an A7. So that's 5, 7, 5, 6, 5, 5. We're going to go bum, ba, bum. And then we're going to go to a C power chord, to a big G. A7 again. You can do a C major. So it's 3 times of that. Then we're going to go dum, da, 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 dum. So that's 2 bars of like 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. It's like a triplet with the middle one missing. 1 and a 2, a 3, a 4, a 2, a 3, a 4. So it ends up being. And then we're getting to the next pre-verse. That could be one where you go low because it's not into the verse yet. Okay, that sets up the verse. Then we got 4 of them. Down to the G. And back. So you see that pattern? So it's always 4 once a verse starts on this D to C to D thing, and then you go to the G to F to G thing twice, and then you're back to the D, C, D twice. So we got, let's do these last 2. And then we're down to that A7. Three, 4. So you wait 2 beats there. 3, 4. This is the 3rd time, and then chords. Now we got the solo. let's see what we got so far. We got 2 bends on this 12th fret of the G string. Hold that, little vibrato. And then we're going to have a not bent note, then a bent note, and then a 12th fret underneath that. So once again. So once we do the bum bum dee, and we go bum 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 bum, and then we're gonna do 9th fret, little half step. So that was a little half step bend to the 7 9 7. So we got. So we got that da da dee da, and then we're gonna have a 10 underneath. We're going to bend that 9 away from the 10 and then end up on the 7. So we have double hammer on there. 7 9 on the D, 7 9 on the G. We got 3 of those things. The last one kind of comes down as well as up. Okay, so once again. They're going to bend this 10 way up. So, bam, 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 bam. So it's like 4 bends, kind of slow. And it's a little bit more than a step. It's almost like a step and a half bend. And it ends with bend, not bent, and then up, and then you go 10 to 7. So that's 10 7. Half step bend here in the 9. And that's 9 on the D to the 7 on the G. Then we're going to have a 7 9, 7 9 7 9. Got to do that again. So we got a bend on this 9 like a half step. Then we have like a whole step bend on that 10. Back to the 9. So. So that was da-dee, da-dee-ya. Then we're going to go. We're going to slide into the 14 and the 13. So we got. Then we're going to take that 14 back down to the 10. So down to 12 and then 10. So do, da, 12, 12. So boom, 12, 10, 12. Hammer into that 11, hold it a little bit. Then we have a little 10 right here. So we got little 10, bend on that 10 with the first finger. So we bent the 12 up. We got that, then we got 13 underneath it. So we got the. So it's a bend up and then a down. One of those things. And then you go. So bending up to the 13 again. Down to the 10. So we got. And then we're going to go. So that is bending the 12, 10, 10 on the next two strings. That's a bend up and down and a pull off. 12 on the D. That's a little bend on that 10 on the G. 12, 12 going up the strings there. So we got. So we got double hammer, and that's when you got to get really tall. It's kind of a Hendrix kind of thing. So it's hammering 10 to 12 on the A, but you're also hearing the 10th fret of the D string. Does it twice, and then you go down a string. And then you got like 10s and 12s here. We're going to slide into the 14 on the G to the 13. So we got from the hammers. So we got a 12 into 14 to the 13. So, and then, so that's kind of slow. And then faster notes. Do, da, da, dee, da, do. So 14, 13, 13, 15, 13. Sliding that down. So 10, pull off to the A string, down to that D. So the whole solo. Then we got those 10 bends, kind of extra. Then we got that little 10. Then we got those double hammers. Okay, then we're back to. And you're going to have that last verse, so 4 times. Down to the G. Times. A7. You just take those chords and it fades out. All right, this is going to be the classic White Room by Cream. We're going to start out with this intro here where we have chords. We hold a triad. This is going to be a G minor triad, F triad, D minor triad, C triad. So it's 12, 11, 10, the bottom three here. And that's 10, 10, 8 for the F chord. And then we have 7, 6, 5. For the D minor chord, and jump up a set of strings, 4, 3, and 2 for the 10, 9, and 8 for a C major chord. So it does that twice, and then after the second time, do an A minor 7, which is all fives with a 7 on the 5th string. So once again, 3, 4. Okay, then we're going to start our verse riff. We got the D major chord. We're going to have... Here we're going to a C, and we're hitting that G note. You can kind of make a chord out of that too. It's like a C9 chord. So, and you look in the tab, sometimes it'll just say he's just kind of doing that 3 and that open, and then that 2 and that open when it comes up. So the chords coming up here are B flat, 1, 3, 3, 3, up to C. But it kind of has a lead in F bass note, boom, 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 and a G bass note kind of. See that? Junk, 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 junk. So I'd say like do it sometimes and don't do it sometimes, kind of mix it up, you know. Now the last time, take it on down to that B flat, C to B, B flat. So the last one to go like. Now we get into a new part. So this is gonna be a C chord. This is like a wah wah part where you'd be like wah 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 wah. So C chord. This is a G chord, but we're hammering into the 2nd fret of the A string. I got a 3 down here. So it's like open to 2 and then open, open, 3. So it's C. Hammer into that. Now this is a B flat, so this is all 3s from the A string down to the B string. Hammer into the 5 there. Same thing for A. 2s with a 4. And then we're going to C up here, 5s to 7. Back to the G. B flat. C. And then we have D. Got that little fill right there. So we hammer into the 9th fret. We got those 7s. Then we have this little fill. So 7 and 9 on the D. 7, 7 on the G. 9 on the D back. So we got. Okay, and you get another verse, so. Remember the last one on the verse, down to the B flat. And you're into C, G, B flat, A, C, down to G, and B flat, C, D. Okay, and then in between these verses here, you got like, you get back to that intro thing. And something interesting about this, these are 5 beats, so it's like dun, 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 dun. You don't really think about it because the drums make it just feel natural in that, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All that. Okay, now we're gonna get into the solo, Eric Clapton solo. So we got. So I'm pretty sure Eric Clapton would bend it like this. Because he would do a lot of that when you take that finger and kind of misplace it to do the bends better, right? That's when you get that finger up here instead of, normally it would like be there in a position. So we got bend in the 12 and the G. And you got a little 10 and a 13 on the second string back to that 12 and the G. So it's that last one was down to the 10, 12, 12 to 10. So you're trying to get these notes to sustain into the other notes as much as you can. And then we have, so 12, 10, down to the 12 on the D, back up, D, down, little bend on that. And then we actually have a pull off on that one. D, and then got a little half step bend, and then 2 full step bends on the 13. So the whole thing is like, so that's a little 10 to 13 on the second, and then you wait a slight second and you bend this 12 on the G. So bend 12, 10, low 12, 10, and then 12 to 14 slide. And then we're going to get into this. We do this hammer on into another note there. So we got 13, 15 on the second, down to 13 on the first. Little groups of 3 notes. We're going to do this 9 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then you have a quick slide, 14 to 12 on the G. Pull off, end on that 12, and then we have a, so that's a 10 on the G, lower 12, da-da, 12, 10. Getting into one of those again, so we got the bend on the 12, little 10, 13. And then we have a 12, and then we have a series of notes that are hammer on, pull off to a lower note. So that kind of goes 3 times, so it's like. And then we have a D to do 12, 10 on the D to the A. Then we have a hammer on the D, da do, D da, D da, a couple pull offs. So let's take a review of the whole thing. We got. Now we get into the second page of the tab here. We got, so that's a 12, hold it a little bit, and then 10, 12, 10. Then we get into the 13 on the second string. So we kind of hold it, pull it, hold it, pull it, and then a quick one. And then we have a, so kind of a pause, and then a little 10. Kind of have a quick one. And then a longer one and a quicker one. So just kind of like listen for that one. And then we have a slight pause in the next measure. So that was a little 10, pull off, 13, 10, 12, back to 10. Hammer on, pull off, little bend on that one. 12, 10, 12. And here we have a step and a half bend with your first finger. This one takes a little strength and practice to get with this one. So we have a bends all the way to the sound of the 13th fret. Then we're going to bend that 12 up, 10, 13 on the second, 12 on the third, bend that 12. And then we have one of those hammer-on pull-offs to the lower note. And then we're going to get into a thing. So kind of a quick picking thing. And he's working the wah real heavy right there too. This whole thing has a great wah-wah on it, so listen for that as well. So 10, 12, bend, 12, 10, lower 12. Then we're going to go the second time, little 10, 13, 10. So that one ends with dun, 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 do, dee, do. A few 12s there. Dun, 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 12, 12, we're gonna have this 10, 12, 14, hit a little 15 there, and then hit this 14 and 13. Hit that chord a few times. We got a big 1.5 step bend on this 15. And then kind of a few of those bends, and then hammer on pull off, 15 twice. The end of that measure is 13, 15, little 13, 14, and then we get into towards the end. So we're gonna go through everything again. Let's start with the we're gonna have dee da dee da 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 dum, da da dee da 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 dum, and then 13, and then bend it again. Little 10 to 13 on the second. Bend that little 13. So that's gonna be bend, 13, hammer on pull off, 10 to 13. 13 on the second to the 10 twice. 13 and bend. And then this one goes da dee da dee da. So little 10, 13, 10, bend up and down, pull off here. 12, 10, 12, and then the end of that measure. Da doo dee da, and then getting a series of bends here. 12th fret bends a normal 1-step bend. 14 goes like a step and a half. So it fades out while it's doing that. All right, so I'm gonna try the whole solo one more time. Here we go. Hey y'all, welcome to Blues Day Tuesday number 4. Today we're going to be doing Crossroads Blues by Robert Johnson. This is Cream's version. We're going to do the first solo by Eric Clapton. We're going to do the basics of the song. We're also going to jam in the key of A. So let's look at our first riff here. So we kind of have an A power chord, the open and the 2, the open on the 5th string, 2 on the 4th string. And then we're coming down to the 3rd string to the A note. We're going 2, O, 2, O, 2, O, and then a little bend on that 3 on the 5th string. So it kind of pulls off there at the end. So we do that twice, 3, 4. And then we're gonna go. So that's just a double. That's a 3rd string and 2nd string at the same time. So we do the exact same kind of phrasing and the hammer on and all that. Then we're gonna go to a D7. So open 2, 1, 2. We're gonna get into a little picking thing there, but let's look at what we got again here. 2, 3, 4. 2 times of that. 2 times of that. Then we're gonna go. And then back to the A. So this one is. Let's break that down. We got. So we have 2 bass notes on that D. And then we have the 2nd string, 3rd, and 4th string. And then the 1st string. Kind of come back one. A little bend on that C note again there on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So. Now here. We go to the higher strings there. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Back to the A. So all together we have 3, 4. That's our E honky tonk thing. We got a open and 2 on the 2 big ones. 2 to 4, a couple times on that. Okay, so we got the E chord. A couple times of that. Then we're going to slide into the 7 here on the 5th string. So we got 5, 7 on the D. 5 on the G, back to that 7. So dee da doom da da dum. And then we have a hammer here. 5 to 6 on the G, and then 5, 5 down here. So that was 5, 5, 8 to 5 pull off on the 2nd string. 7 on the G to 5 on the B. Back into that hammer. And then we're gonna go 7 on the D. That hammer again. 5th fret of the 2nd string. Down to our 5 chord note there, the E there. So we got. And then we're going to start this new honky-tonk rhythm. So that's our A power chord going to the 4th fret of the D string. So we're coming up to the 5th fret, 5, 7, going to the 9th fret of the same kind of honky-tonk thing here for a D chord coming from A. But we can slide in from the C sharp power chord into that D. So it's like. Down to D. Next verse. E, D, A. Third verse. There's 3 in a row. Okay, and then the solo is going to start. Well, let's have you guys jam. Let's look at our A minor pentatonic scale. So you got all those kind of riffs, you know, you got. So how about I'll play the rhythm to that, and then you guys take a solo a little bit, and then we'll get into Clapton's first solo from that song. So here we go. You got your A minor pentatonic. Remember, that's a good one to kind of start with, because or sliding into that, because that's your A note. That's your root note to get started with. So let's go for it. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that last two times there, I didn't do because I was trying to be more like in the background, like for you to be Solomon. So sometimes you leave little things out so that you're more in the background. Okay, so let's take a look at Eric Clapton solos. We're gonna go. So first thing he does is and lets that A note ring, and then we're gonna come in. So he's going to have the 2 to 4 in the D to the A on the second fret of the G string and back to the 4. And then we're going to have so 2 4 2 4 2 4 6. So we have 5 to 7 on the second string. So 5 7, little 5 back to that 7. Then we're gonna go chords. So 5s to 7 and 5. Back to 5s to 7 on the G. So we have da 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 dee da da dum dum. So that's a quick hammer. And then we have 5 7 5 7 5. So we have a pull off here. 7 to 5 on the G down to the 7 on the D. So we're gonna bend that 7 on the G, little 5 to 8 on the second string. That was a bend on the 7 on the G, and then a 5 7 hammer. So we got a da da dum dum dum, sliding into the 9 with an 8 underneath it. So. So we come down, got that hammer on the G string. So we slid into the 10 on the second string, dum dum to 8, 10 on the little one, back to 10. Okay, then we have, so we're hammering in, we got 8s, hammering into the 10 of the second string. So we got to slide down, 9 to 7. Pull off there, so one more time. All right, we got this hammer-on riff here again. So we got this double hammer-on thing, and then we're sliding down, and then hammer, 5 5 7. So we got sliding down there, and then we have that riff, kind of from the beginning there. So once again on this part of the solo, then we got one more part of the solo. here's the beginning of this new part of the solo. Okay, so that's our new part. So we got 13th fret of the second string, slight bend into the 14th fret of the third string. So we got. So that was just 13, 15, and then bend it up. Back to 13, 14, and then 12 to 14 on the D to the 12th fret of the G string. Hammer. So da 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 da, and then sliding it down, ring finger. Da dee da doom. So we got. And then. So easy enough there. 12, 14. And then bend this 15. So 13, 15, 14, 13, little bend. So once again, we got. And then we have, kind of like before, da-dum, dee-dee-dee, da-dee-dee-dee. Now we're going to take this up to, so we're up into the A major pentatonic there. We got this A again. Back to the rhythm. All right, this is going to be Eric Clapton's second guitar solo in Crossroads by Cream. I've got a video I did recently that has all the rhythm parts, the intro, and the whole first solo, but this is going to be about the second solo. Okay, so the first thing we have is. Okay, so that's our first riff. We got the 19th fret of the G string, and then we got the 17th fret of the B string. 3 in a row there, so we got. The second time we go to the chord down there, the 2/17, so we got. So we end up doing that 3 times. So we got the first one is by itself, and then we're going to do the chordal thing 3 times. We end up bending that 20th fret of the second string and holding it for a bit. So we got. Okay, and then the next riff is. So we got 17, 20 on the second, bending the 19 on the G, 17, 19, and 19 to the D. So the 2 things we got, real slow. And then we're going to go. So we got the 17 to the 18 on the G, 17, 17. We got. We're going to pull off that 20 to 17 on the B, 19 on the G, 17 on the G, 19 on the D. So. Okay, so that's our first couple of riffs. Now, one thing to talk about is when we get into the solo, he's going to be doing that riff, the main riff of the tune. It's like. So we're going to let that A note ring for 2 beats, and then we start our thing. So it's like 1, 2. So our new thing is we're going to bend that 20 on the little E back to the 20, and then we're going to do a hammer-on pull-off, 17 to 20 to 17, hit the 19 on that B, and then back. So we got... So after we do the... We're going to go 19 to 20 and bend it. So that new thing there is going to be... So then we start getting into a thing where we're hammering on the 17 and 19 on the D, and we also use the 17 underneath it on the G. So it can be like a hammer on here and kind of go into this note separate. Or it can be like a chordal thing where you kind of hammer in the one, but you're using them both as a chord back and forth. So he's pretty great at, Clapton was pretty great at like being able to like just kind of like mix it up and make it just feel, you know, real cool how he wanted it to. So one more time, we're going to go. Then you're going to eventually get into a lower one. And you come down to the lower one. Come down to the higher one pitch-wise. So you can have like a... kind of come down to that 19, 17. And then you got this little 19, 17, 19. Then we have a new thing. We're going to bend this. We got 3 in a row. We're going to have a... So you bend it, and you kind of hold that slightly, and then you have 3 notes. Bend it again, 3 more notes. So we got... That's going to be a 20 to 17. 19 on the G, back to that 17. Hammer on, pull off there. So let's see what we got. Okay, then we end up on that low one. So we're going to bend that 20 on the second. 17, 19, 17 on the G. And then we have this pull off on the D to the A. And we have these 2 notes here, the 17s in the middle. Back to that 19 on the 5th, so... Okay, that starts our new part. Okay, so our new part goes 17 and 19 on the second, to the 17 on the little one, bending that 20 on the second. So you're gonna bend that 20 and hold it 2 beats. So it's like 1, 2. You're gonna do that one more time after holding it. Do that quick hammer on pull off. To that on the second there. You got like a bend up on the 20 to the 20 itself. 17, 20 twice. So let's go from like here's our new part. So we had one of those. And then this one we got a big bend with that first finger on that 17th. So we got a pull off. Then we do chords there at 17s and 19s. So we got that new part. And then we're gonna go. So it's a little different. We got 17, 20, 17, 20, 19, 17, 19, lower 19. So we got. We got a big bend on that one. And that was G string to B and then hammer on the G. So we got a hammer on pull off. Got that chord there. And then we got a. So we got a little hammer here, second string to that one. So we got. So that new part. So that whole thing we got. So da-dee-doom, and then so we got some of these pull-offs, 20 to 17 and 19. Do 4 of those, bend that one, then we got. So we got. So this new thing, we got chord, 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 chord. So that's 17s and 19s. Then you start going 17 to 19 in the bass with the 17. Then you start doing these 19s down here in the second and third string. That kind of stuff. So from the top. So here we get into a thing we got doing a common double. You got to kind of time that one out good. So it's like. So we get into a. So we're heading into the end of the solo here. We got. So. Then we end with a dee-do-dee. Then we're going to have one of those hammer-on half step. So real slow. And then we're going to get into this 19. So it's a big whole step bend. And then we go 17 to 20. So hammer on pull off. We're going to end with. Okay, and that's the whole solo. So we got